Hello everyone, welcome to our day 3 of Tableau 30 days challenge. In today's video, we're going to learn about Tableau Workspace and we will also try to understand about the repository. But before that, let us quickly take the recap that we have done yesterday. And in yesterday's video, we tried to understand what was the problem statement and what is the solution we offered. Along with that, we tried to define what is Tableau, and then we understood what are the different products that Tableau is offering, and then we tried to install and learn about different versions. So this was the basic concept that we discussed yesterday. And in today's video, what we'll do is we'll continue our learning journey. So if you're new to my channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and let us get started. So here to start off, once you download Tableau from the location or the link that I have shared in my previous video, I'll place that in the description of this video as well. So, and you register it, and once you install it, there will be an icon on your machine like this with a version embedded on this. Like say, if you see, I have Tableau 2021.1, Tableau 2021.1, Tableau 2022.4. Like you can install this and you can use it according to your purpose. So now once a Tableau is installed in your machine, Tableau will automatically create a repository in your machine or under my documents of your system. So what is repository in general? Do comment in the comment section if you know the meaning. Okay, so repository in general, if I try to define, it is nothing but a storage location where all the important information about a Tableau is stored. Like say, my Tableau repository is the repository which has information related to Tableau that it needs to work. Okay, so if I click on this, there are certain folders that a Tableau creates by default. So these are all by default folders. Okay, bookmarks, connectors, data sources, extensions, logs, map sources, services, shapes, workbooks, etc. So this is by default different folders. Bookmark means what? Anything like say, if you're going to web page and if you want to frequently visit that page, what do we do? We bookmark that page. So if there is any workbook that you want to frequently visit, you can bookmark that. That will be available under this bookmark type. Connectors. So in Tableau, once you open, you can connect to only certain type of data sources, and some might require connectors or some external connectors that you need to download and connect. So once you do that, that will be available in this location. Data sources. See, for any tool that you install, be it your Tableau, be it your Power BI, be it SQL, they will give you one sample set to play with. Like say, if you're installing a SQL, we have employee table and department table, if you remember, right? They are the pretty standard tables that we all play with to learn about that. Similarly, when you are using Power BI, you have a standard data set to play with. Similarly, in Tableau, once you install, we have a data set that is common, that is called as a sample superstore. So that will be available under data sources here. If I click on this, because I have multiple versions installed or I have upgraded multiple times, you are seeing all of my previous versions here. Okay, so it will automatically embed, but if at all you want to keep it, you can keep it, or if at all you want to delete it, you can delete it. It's up to you. But I've just kept it like this. But if I go inside it, you will see what are the sample data sets provided by Tableau. So if you see here, sample superstore, one is in Tableau format and another one is in Excel format, and we have world indicators like this. So this is the sample data set we all play with. So in real time also a lot of use cases we try to answer it using this is sample superstore. So this will be the first data set that you will practice a lot. Once you gain confidence about all the concepts of or all the topics of Tableau, maybe you can switch on to different data sets that are available on the Kaggle net or something like that, and then you can try to build your own data dashboards using that data set. But preliminary or primarily, if at all we want to understand what a Tableau is, what are the different concepts of Tableau, it is recommended we use sample superstore as our base. So in our all future sessions, we will be using sample superstore to address all the problems or situations or use cases that we face in the real time. Okay, so this is about your data sources. Same likewise, next one is logs extensions. If at all you are trying to download anything that is readily built from the outside, and that will be in the extension. Same like logs, whatever you are doing here and you are opening a Tableau will log that in this logs folder. So if I go into that, it will create a log file. You see hyper. Okay, last it was created on 2810. Okay, so once I open my workbook today, again it will get created. So let us see the example. I'm just going to double click on this, so it gets opened, and you will see that a log file is created. So this is very much important for us to understand how or where the log files are created. So in interview also they might ask you like what are the different types of log files available. So if I go here, maybe just as a sample, I'm just connecting to sample superstore here. You can ignore the view for now, and I'm just simply trying to create a view. Okay, now if I go to this log file here, and if I try to reload, there should be, you see now, it is with the today's a timestamp. Okay, 30 10 7 36, it just got created hyper one. Okay, so that way if I try to open this, it will be written something like this. You can try to read this whenever you have free time. It will give you an understanding how Tableau is trying to read your Tableau workbook, and it is trying to describe what it is doing here in this. Okay, maybe this is the next level of getting expert in Tableau, where we are trying to you know understand how log file is generated. Okay, so this is about your log files. Again, if I go back, we have shapes, one important folder. So see, like not all the times we will be using a textual information to display the value, or charts to display the value. Sometimes we might also be using indicators to optimize our visualization or optimize the metric. So in that sense, we might sometimes use images, shapes and all, maybe to show company logos or something on an image. Then all of that can be done using this shapes folder. Okay, if I get in here, you will see there are certain standard images that are provided by Tableau. So you can use this according to the calculation that you need, and maybe they will act as a KPI, or they will act as a metric, which with showing an indicator that is easy for anyone to understand. I hope you're getting this point. Same likewise, if at all you want to create or add your own images by downloading it from Google or anywhere, or in the repository of your organization, you can do that as well. So you can either add those personalized images in any of the existing folders, or you can create your own folder inside this location. Like see, I've created my own folder called as my images. So except this my images, all of the folders that you are seeing here are default folders. In arrows, there are certain arrows. Again, if I go back to shape, we have gender. You'll see some images related to gender. And then if I go back, we have KPIs. So something related to this like this. And if I go to my images, I've downloaded some images from Google just for illustration purpose. Okay, so in real time we cannot directly go and download it from Google, because again it will cause a compliance issue. Maybe you can check with your manager or lead or whoever is there to know where is the repository for shapes, and also that you can use it. You can download it from there and you can use it for your dashboard purpose. Because we are learning and we are not publishing or we are not doing anything, we can try to leverage the images or shapes available in Google. So this one tip I would like to give you. Please, remember this point. It is important. Okay. So that's about shapes and all. And the default location of your workbooks will be under this location called as workbooks. But still you can go ahead and change it to any location you want. But primarily this will be the location that it says. Okay. So I hope you are clear about my Tableau repository. So anytime you have any questions related to this, maybe you can reach out to me or comment in the comment section. I'll try to help you out with that. So now once that is done and we are clear with the Tableau repository, let us go ahead and open our Tableau workbook so that we can understand what are the different components we have here. Okay. So I'm just going here, or maybe I'll close this and I'll try to reopen. So while it opens, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to give a comment so that it can reach wider audience. Maybe that is how YouTube works. More number of comments, the more it tries to reshare to the audience. Okay, so I would sincerely request you all. Now this is the home page of Tableau, or the home screen of Tableau. So let us simplify this again. Okay, so I always prefer simplifying and connecting it to the real-time situations so that it is easy for us to understand. Now, if you remember our yesterday's ETL architecture that I have drawn, I have created three parts, right? Extraction, transformation, and loading, right? Similarly, it is very similar to that now. On the left-hand side is the connection part. Okay, so you can read it like something like this: connect to a file, connect to a server, connect to a saved data sources, like that, which means if your source is of a text file, or it is of Excel, or if it is of JSON file or PDF file, anything, which means it is locally available in your machine, then you can use this option connect to a file. Like say if it is text file, so what it will do, it will try to invoke a connection of text file type, and it will try to read if text file is there or not. Now you see here under this location, it is trying to access if there is such a file of .txt type. Because it is not available, all of these are empty. So automatically only those type of files Tableau can read at this point of time. But if I go to other locations, you see if there are any .txt files, all of them are available here. Okay, so that way, so remember this point. Okay, so now again if I go to Microsoft Excel, now this time it is trying to read dot excel files in the location that you are trying to do. Again, by default it is going to my Tableau repository, but you always have option to go to any location that you want or your file is in, and you can connect to that. Again, if I go to my documents, it will show what are the different files I have with Excel here. So primarily it will read that. Okay, so simply you can click on this and you can click on open and it will get connected. Okay, that way we can use this. Okay, similarly, if at all you want to connect to a server, so in real time we might be using files of Excel or CSV or text file, or we might also be using files or data that is there in the server. Server means what? You are installing a specific server, like say Oracle server or SQL, maybe Snowflake server, and you would like to connect to that data source and use it. So which means what technically, that the data that is that we are trying to access is not in your local machine, right? So if you are trying to use Microsoft Excel, it is locally available. I can navigate to my documents and we can see where that file is. But when I say server, it is not there in your machine. You are installing in a specific server. So that's why it is broadly trying to classify as a server. So you will install MySQL server, you will install my Oracle or Snowflake like that, and you would like to connect to that. Then in that situation, suppose if I want to connect to Microsoft SQL Server, you can simply click on that. I'm using this SQL Server because I've already installed it. If I click on this, it will invoke connection of type Microsoft SQL Server, and it will give me information like what is the date server name, database name, and authentication preferred. So I am doing this in my local, personal machine, this because that is why it is showing these options. But in real time, based on how it is configured in your machine or in your project, you can get the connection details and you can try to access them. Okay, so all of this information you can check with the existing team member or your team lead or manager to give you the server details and all. And once you give that, you can try to check if you have access to this or not. And once you have access, you can simply go ahead and connect. So this is something that is very important for you to understand and remember. Now, next important point is a saved data sources. See, not all the time we will go to Microsoft Excel, select the file, and again open it and all use it. And not all the time we'll go to server, connected to Microsoft SQL Server and use it. Suppose every day you are connecting to a standard data source and you are building your views. Now, this might take some, X time, right, to connect and do that. So we have an option called as saving that data information. So once you save that, all of that information will be automatically saved here. Sample Superstore is a saved data source. Why? Because this is being frequently used, or user felt that we might use it, we might need it regularly. So just like a shortcut icon he has created. So I'll show you where the option is in the upcoming classes. But for now, remember that any data sources that you might need it frequently, you can save it. And once you save it, that will be available under saved data sources. So remember this point. And we can read it something like this: connected to a file, connected to a server, connected to a saved data source. So by default, you are seeing only MySQL, Oracle, or Amazon Redshift and SQL Server. But if you click on more, these are the different data sources supported by Tableau as of today. Okay, so if you remember the definition of Tableau that we have defined yesterday, we said that Tableau is a data visualization tool that allows us to connect to different data sources. These are the different data sources. You name it, you'll have it. OneDrive you will have, Oracle you have Google Drive you have. So Google Analytics is there. So Google Sheets, I think Google Sheets should also be there. So directly you can connect to that and you can analyze the data right from there. Okay, so it is very easy to, Splunk is there, Spark is there, Snowflake is there. So as Tableau, releases newer releases or newer versions, you will see more number of, you know, uh, data sources getting expanded or included in this list. Okay, so remember this. These are the types of data sources that are supported as of today. Dropbox is also there. Databricks is also there. Cloudera is also there. Amazon's all Athena, Aurora, EMR, Hadoop, Redshift. You can connect to any of this. So for some, the process might be differ. Like say Snowflake, you need to install drivers and set up some steps to connect to that. Like that, some might have their own setup process. Once you follow that, you will be able to access that. Okay, so that is your left part. So this is your connection part. Okay, on the center of the screen you are seeing open item, which means all the recently worked workbooks will be available in this option. Okay, so because I have already worked on so many workbooks, it is giving me the list of the workbooks that I have worked recently. So, you do not have to worry that, today you are working on a Tableau workbook and, you finished that, but you forgot where you saved. So next day you are coming and, you're trying to locate where you have saved that workbook. You need not worry about that such case. So once you open Tableau, it will automatically show you what was the last workbook that you worked on and where it is also. So if I put my cursor here, it is showing me the location of my workbook. See here, this workbook is currently under my Tableau repository under workbook. So default location it is there. Okay. If at all I want to know where this workbook is, it is under this folder like that. So this is my open part. But if you are using Tableau for the first time, this screen might be empty for you, so no need to worry about that. But once you start creating workbooks, it will create a thumbnail in this location, and below is the sample workbooks. Sample workbook means Tableau will show us like how we can create, or what are the different types of dashboards we can create using Tableau and the data set that it has given. So if I click on that, it will try to open that workbook and you will see that. Give it a time while it load. So this is how a dashboard can be created in Tableau. Okay, so this is an overview dashboard or a product drill down dashboard or customer dashboard, shipping. There are different types of dashboards that are created. Now if you try to understand, this is also created on sample superstore or sales target like that. So this is the data sources that they are using to create this dashboard. So I think I would encourage, this would be the first step for you to start practicing. Maybe you can replicate this by seeing in your workbook, and then that is when you will get a number of doubts, and then you can try to answer that, and that's the way to keep learning about the concepts. So by seeing this, you should understand what are the different worksheets that are used here, what are the different actions that they are using, how they are using, and also you should be in a situation where you can, by seeing only, you should be able to do it in your own workbook that you're trying to replicate. That way it will help you. Okay, so this is about, again, if I click on this Tableau icon, it will take me back. This is about sample workbooks, and on the right side is a discover part, which will take you to the training material that is given by Tableau. So get started to the Tableau environment, connect, prepare, and also if at all you are looking for authentic information, you can always go to Tableau's site and you can start learning or exploring the concepts in detail. I'll be pasting the link in the description box. Maybe you can directly start reading from that page. So that will clearly give you an edge and a detailed explanation of each and every topic. Okay, so that's about the Tableau workspace. And to start off, if I connect it to Sample Superstore, where I would like to give you an overview on three important parts, and then we'll wrap up today's session. Okay, that is in Tableau. If I open up, there are three important parts that we need to understand. That is worksheet, dashboard, and story point. So let us write it here. I'm going here, and so we have discussed about Tableau, sorry, repository, and we have learned about Tableau workspace. Now in this, there are three important points. First is, sorry, three important parts of a workbook. So whatever we have opened here, this one is called as a workbook, and the name of this workbook is, you see, Superstore. Okay, so Tableau Superstore, Tableau. So this is called as one workbook, entire thing, whatever, which has a number of dashboards and all. So in a workbook, we will have three important parts. One is a worksheet. Second one is dashboard. And third one is story point. Okay, again, to explain this, I'm trying to simply create a paint, open up my paint so that I can explain you. Worksheet is the primary unit of a workbook. Worksheet is the primary unit of a workbook, which means all the development of your charts, your metrics, anything that you're trying to do, you will be doing it in your worksheet only, because this is the place where you will have access to your tables and all. You see, I'm in worksheet. I will have access to my data sources. I can see what are the fields. I can create, if at all I want a new fields. All of that I can do it at a worksheet level only. So this is the primary component. Next is dashboard. Dashboard is nothing but a collection of your worksheets, or together you are narrating a story which will have few worksheets based on the business requirement, and you are trying to put them in a way that business requested, or it might answer majority of the business questions. Okay, so which means together you are answering one specific scenario or a specific use case, that is called as a dashboard. In dashboard we will have actions, okay, navigations, and all of that. So technically we are trying to connect these multiple sheets together and making them interact with one another so that we can answer questions for the customer. Okay, remember this point. This is your dashboard. Okay, next is story point. Story point is either a single dashboard or a single worksheet, but it cannot have both. So you can treat story point as your PowerPoint slide. Okay, because you know in presentation purpose you can use story point, or if at all you want to show about how to use Tableau dashboards, you can write all of that information here. See here, this is your worksheet. If I click on dashboard, it will show the list of worksheets that are available here. Okay, and not the data sources and field names. Try to understand and remember the differences you are seeing at a worksheet level and at a dashboard level. Okay, so worksheet, you will have access to data sources and fields. Dashboard, you will have access to worksheets and all of the options required to make them interact and design your dashboard. Okay, so this is your dashboard. If I go to story point is either a collection of a worksheet or a dashboard, but not both. See here, example, I'm taking this performance sheet. Okay, and I'm simply trying to drop. Okay, I got that. But now if I'm trying to add this overview and drop it, it is asking that should I replace, which means what, either it can hold only one object at a time. So it is like your PowerPoint slide. So if you want multiple sheets, you can click on this blank and it will get created, like simply like that. So these are your slides kind of thing. If you're trying to explain something in your project, then you can definitely do it. Use this only to explain what is your dashboard, what is the purpose of it, how is it working, and also in all of that cases story point will help you. But from developers perspective, what is important for is us is sheets, understanding each topic, each concept of sheets, and dashboard is what important for a developer's life, because day in and day out we will be working on this and designing our dashboards. So with that said, we have come to an end on these today's topic. I hope you have liked the video. If it does, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and share it among your friends and encourage them to take up this topic or this challenge. And see you in the tomorrow's topics. Till then, bye bye, and have a good day.